Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Maggie, and today we are going to be talking about my top tips for studying in nursing school. So I am going into my senior year for my BSN in nursing school, so I'm almost done. I got 1 year left, and you guys are gonna have to forgive me. I lost a nail today, so just bear with me. I know, but I'm gonna be using my hands a lot. That's why I said that. But so we are going to be talking about my top tips, and I've wanted to make this video for so long, and I never felt like I was in the right place to make this video. Like, I was never, I guess, like confident enough in my abilities and in my studying to make a video like this, but now I finally feel like I have compiled my best tips and I'm in a good place to give them. And yeah, so this isn't going to be exactly how I study for an exam. This is just going to be general tips that can be applied to any section of nursing, whether you are still in pre-nursing, whether you're going for your grad degree, for your doctorate, like you could still apply all of these tips. So this is just going to be tips. I might do a how I study for nursing exams if you guys want to see that, but let's get into today's video. Okay, so I have all of my tips on my phone, so I'm gonna be looking down a little bit. But my first tip is so crucial. It is to figure out how you learn. So in nursing school, you're not really going to be taught by your teachers. Your teachers are going to give you information in the form of a lecture, usually. Every school is a little different. Some are more hands-on, some are more hands-off. But most nursing schools do a lecture. So we are given information in the lecture, and then it's kind of our responsibility as students to take that information and teach it to ourselves in a way that we can understand and then be able to apply it on an exam. So I know that I learn by writing, so I think I'm a kinesthetic learner. I think that's what it is. I don't know. I think it's kinesthetic, I don't know. But I learn by writing things out and watching them with my eyes. And some people learn by listening, some people learn by like talking through it. Just figure out how you learn, and if you don't know, just think like, what do you do? What do you kind of like go to when you're studying for an exam now, or if you're in high school, like how do you study for your high school exams, and kind of try to apply that. Or there's tons of online quizzes that you can take that can help you figure out how you learn. So definitely figure out how you learn so that you can figure out how to teach yourself the content that you need to know. Okay, so my second tip is repetition. So in high school, I was really a pretty good student, and all I had to do was take my notes from class and reread them for the exam, and then I would take my exams and I would do well. But in nursing school, nothing is ever that easy. I wish it was. You have to repeat content. So I would take the way that you know that you learn, and I would take that and then do it again and then do it again. For me, I kind of use like a rule of 3. So I have to go over the content for an exam 3 times in order to perform well on that exam, or to know that I'm like good on that exam. I'm not gonna bomb the exam if I go over the content 3 times. So the first time is in lecture, that counts as one of the times for me. And then usually I'll go through and listen to the lecture recording again in like a few days. And that way I'm seeing it and hearing it. And then I'll go through and write out the lecture one more time. It's just kind of what I do. I do more, but if I can get through it 3 times and kind of use at least 2 different methods of learning within those 3 times, I know I'm solid for an exam. So just make sure you're using repetition in your studying. That can be, you know, doing flashcards, making a Quizlet, quizzing yourself, having someone quiz you. Like, just make sure you're incorporating repetition very heavily, because that is how you're going to remember and soak in the knowledge. So my next tip is to use your resources. Nursing school is hard, okay? It is so hard. It is so freaking hard. And it seems like it doesn't matter how, you know, smart, like you have those people that are naturally smart, like they struggle. And the people who, you know, struggle to learn, they struggle. Like everyone in nursing school is struggling, and you need to just lay down your pride and use your resources. Using your resources is so important. So my favorite resource to use at my school is called peer tutoring. It's basically where people who have taken classes that you're in, who have done well, they tutor. You can sign up to be tutored by them, and then the school pays them to do that. So it's really, really helpful because these people have taken your class and done well in it and know how to do well in it, and then they can kind of facilitate your learning. So peer tutoring is really a really good thing to do. It's not something that you do like only if you're struggling or only if you're falling behind. When I've been doing the best in my classes, it's been when I've been going to tutoring consistently. The people who are always like at the top of the class, they're going to tutoring consistently. In nursing school, going to tutoring isn't really like, there's no negative stigma attached to it. It's really just like a maintenance thing. It doesn't matter how well you're doing in a class, you still need to be going to tutoring regularly. So it really helps with studying, because if you're studying for a big exam, your tutor can go through flashcards with you. They can kind of give you pointers on what helped them study for the exam. You can just do so many things with your tutor, and you can really make your tutoring session how, like, you can set it up to benefit you as a learner. So like, say you learn through talking things out, you can kind of lecture your tutor and they can tell you like where you need to change your thinking or where you're a little bit wrong or what you're doing well, things like that. If you're someone who likes to write things out, maybe you can write things out on a flashcard before and then give you flashcards. It really just, there's so much you can do with a tutor, and it's a really powerful resource if you have them at your school. Ours are completely free. If your tutoring isn't free, I honestly wouldn't, put your own money towards it. I don't think that you absolutely have to have one to do well in nursing school. So I've kind of thought of some resources that you guys can use. So you can always use your teacher's office hours. I don't use this as much unless I'm going over an exam with my professor. I just find, I don't know why I don't really do it. It is a really good resource to use because your professors are going to be the ones who are writing exams, and they're going to be most knowledgeable about the content. So you can definitely use their office hours. But one of my favorite online resources to use is, I think her name is Sarah. Yes, Sarah from registerednursern.com. She has every single content area you could think of for nursing, and she has videos about it. She explains it. She has practice questions and practice exams over literally every content area. Like, it's crazy. I don't know how she has compiled like a whole encyclopedia on nursing. It's awesome. So when I'm struggling on a topic and my teacher isn't available to meet with me, or I don't have time for tutoring that week, I will go and type in on registerednursern.com the content area that I'm looking for, and like a video pops up explaining it and walking you through it. She also has stuff on things that aren't like lecture based, like how to assess ABGs and different calculations for like dosaging and med calculations. Some of those things that are just like, you don't really learn them through like repeating them. Like, you have to figure out how to do it. So she is really good at explaining really everything, every topic. So that is my favorite online resource to use. She's completely free, and I would definitely recommend her if you are trying to study and you just need a little bit of help. She has got your back. Okay, so my next my next tip is to do practice questions. You cannot get out of practice questions. You have to do practice questions in nursing school. They will help you so much. So I would recommend doing practice questions when you're kind of like, you've gone over the content once or twice and you're getting more familiar with it and you're a little more sure about it. So my favorite resource for practice questions is Evolve. My nursing program uses Evolve, and I know a lot of nursing programs do, but I know not every nursing program uses Evolve. So if you don't have Evolve, you can always Google a Quizlet of Evolve questions, and those are usually really helpful and good. But if not, registerednursern.com has nursing practice exams and nursing questions related to very specific content. So you can look at those, and then if you literally Google like med-surg cardiac practice questions, like you'll get a ton of them that are probably really relevant to your exam. So make sure you're doing practice questions, make sure you can get a hold of some and make them work for your advantage. This is a really big tip. For your more nursing, like medical/nursing classes, not so much like anatomy and physiology and microbiology, because those aren't really nursing related. They're more just like medical science related that you have to understand to get to nursing. But when you're in your core nursing classes, so fundamentals, assessment, med surg, peds, OB, community, psych, all of those. When you're in those classes, do not focus on studying the anatomy and pathophysiology of the conditions too much. So I failed med-surg 3 semesters ago, and one of the really, really big reasons why I ended up failing the class was not because I wasn't studying hard enough, but because I was focusing on studying the pathophysiology of these conditions and diseases versus the signs and symptoms, the nursing care, the nursing interventions, when we call the healthcare provider, when they can be discharged, things like that. So it's really easy to focus on path because path makes sense and it's kind of like a process. So once you understand it and it clicks, it kind of feels good. So I would kind of study the path a lot because it made a lot of sense to me, and it was easy for me to learn, and I thought that it was super important, and it is important, but what's more important in these classes, because you've already had pathophysiology and anatomy, what's more important in these classes is how do we manage these symptoms and these conditions as a nurse, and what can we do as a nurse. So for example, you're probably not going to get a test question that's like, explain the pathophysiology of hepatic encephalopathy. You're going to have a question that's like, your patient has cirrhosis and they wake up in the middle of the night and they're restless and they're very confused and disoriented. What condition do they have, or what are you going to do? So definitely focus more on nursing care, signs and symptoms like nursing interventions, situational things. Nursing questions are all critical thinking, so it's most of the time going to be a scenario and you're going to have to pick the best answer. They might all be right answers. That's what nursing school and nursing classes are notorious for doing, is giving you all right answers. So make sure you're doing your practice questions and you're studying in a way that you can weed out the correct right answer, not just identify pathophys and anatomy and like things like that. Again, not because they're not important, they're just not they're not going to be what is showing up as much on your nursing exam. So it's really important not to like hyper fixate and focus on those. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys liked it. Please let me know in the comments if there's other videos you'd like to see, whether they're nursing related, lifestyle related, style. I'm going to be doing a few sorority recruitment videos since I am a recruitment chair this year. So just let me know what you would like to see in the comments below, and if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel for me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.